The glass of champagne felt like ice against my fingertips. Across the room, Sarah, my sister, laughed, a brittle, high-pitched sound I hadn't heard before, not from her. It was the laugh of victory, and it was pointed directly at me. Just 4 days. That's how long they were married. 4 days since she stood where I once stood, saying the same vows to Richard, vows she'd spent a year methodically, silently sabotaging. 4 days until his heart simply stopped in his sleep. $400 million. That was the number haunting the air, the reason her triumph tasted so sharp. Richard's death wasn't a tragedy to her, it was a transfer of assets. My hand didn't shake. It was a habit now, this cold control. For the last year of my own marriage, I'd been rehearsing this detachment. The slight shift in Richard's schedule, the casual dismissal of my concerns, the way Sarah suddenly started wearing a specific, expensive perfume I'd never seen her buy. I saw the string, but I waited for the entire tapestry to unravel. At the funeral, she wore black, a tasteful veil, but her eyes, when she thought no one was looking, glittered with impatience, not grief. She watched the pallbearers as if they were carrying a briefcase, not a man. A week later, we were in the study. Mahogany, leather, the smell of old money, and final decisions. Mr. Peterson, Richard's solicitor, cleared his throat, adjusting his thick glasses. Sarah sat opposite me, her posture rigid, a practiced expression of dignified sorrow plastered on her face. Her confidence was a palpable heat. She believed she had won the moment she slipped the ring on. "As the deceased's wife, I assume there is little left to discuss," Sarah stated, her voice smooth, cutting across the room like silk. "Everything naturally passes to me." I met her eyes. No warmth, no hatred, just observation. I hadn't married Richard for the money. I had married him for the stillness he brought to my life. I had left him because the stillness had been poisoned. Mr. Peterson didn't look up. He unfolded the crisp, heavy paper. The terms of the final, legally executed will of Mr. Richard Thorne, signed exactly 3 days prior to his marriage to Miss Sarah Hayes, are quite explicit. Sarah shifted, her smile a fraction too slow to disappear. The lawyer read the first clause, a minor foundation donation. He read the second, trust funds for various distant relatives. Sarah's impatience was boiling now. Then Mr. Peterson paused. He looked at me, then back at the paper. "I quote," he began, his voice flat, "to my sister, the only soul who ever saw me, and who had the courage to tell me the truth even when it broke her own heart, I leave the primary estate, the home, and the entire remaining residual of my financial holdings, totaling approximately $400 million. The room was silent, a thick, crushing silence. Sarah's breath hitched, a gasping sound, ugly and involuntary. She leaned forward, her composure dissolving into a snarl. "His sister? Who is he talking about? I am his wife!" Mr. Peterson merely flipped the page and continued, reciting the next line written in Richard's precise, looping script. "I also establish a perpetual, irrevocable trust fund equaling exactly $100,000 for my wife, Sarah. The terms of this trust require that the principal is legally inaccessible, yielding only an annual disbursement of $1 on the anniversary of our wedding. This is a monument, a standing testament to the exact value I placed on her loyalty and her love during the last year of my life. A permanent reminder that while she took a life, she will never touch the money." Sarah's face went white, then mottled red. A slow, agonizing disintegration. It was the sound of a carefully constructed machine finally hitting concrete. She was locked out, eternally taunted by a phantom dollar. The greed that had been her entire strategy had made her a prisoner in a golden cage that held nothing but air. I stood, gathering my coat. The fight wasn't mine to win, it was his, executed with a lethal finality. She hadn't taken his fortune, she had merely signed a ledger, binding herself to a humiliating poverty she was too proud to escape. I didn't look back at her shattered gasp. The cold had finally settled deep inside me. I was free, and she was not. That was all that mattered.